Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to our ISKCON Full Official YouTube channel. Today I am going to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam 10th Canto, 13th chapter, text 32 onwards. Gopa tad pradhanaya sa moghya rajjaru manyuna Durgadva Krutsrato Abhyeta Govatseda Drusu Sudan. The cowherd men, having been unable to check the cows from going to their calves, felt simultaneously ashamed and angry. They crossed the rough road with great difficulty, but when they came down and saw their own sons, they were overwhelmed by great affection. So the purport had said that everyone was increasing in affection for Krishna. When the cowherd men came coming down from the hill, saw their own sons were no one else than Krishna, their affection increased. They didn't no more angry, rather their love overflowed. So in the next verse 33, it is said that Tad Ikshano Prema Rasa Saya Jata Gata Manyevo Arvakan Uduya Dorbhi Parirabhya Murdani Grane Avapu Paramam Mudamte. At that same time, all the thoughts of the cowherd men merged in the mellow of paternal love, which was aroused by the sight of their sons. Experiencing a great attraction, their anger completely disappeared, and they lifted their sons, embraced them in their arms, and enjoyed the highest pleasure by smelling their sons' heads. In the purport, the disciples of Srila Prabhupada Maharaj say that after Brahma stole the original cowherd boys and calves, Krishna expanded himself to become the boys and calves again. Therefore, because the boys were actually Krishna's expansions, the cowherd men were especially attracted to them. At first, the cowherd men who were on top of the hill were angry, but because of Krishna, the boys were extremely attractive, and therefore the cowherd men immediately came down from the hill with a special affection. So, in the next verse 34, it said that Tatha Prabhayaso Gopa Toka Slesa Sunir Vrutaha Kritsad Chanir Apagatas Tat Anusmutiya Udasrava. Therefore, thereafter, the elderly cowherd men, having obtained great feeling from embracing their sons gradually and with great difficulty and reluctance, ceased embracing them and returning to the forest. But as the men remembered their sons, tears began to roll down from their eyes. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada Maharaj says, in the beginning, the cowherd men were angry that the cows were being attracted by the calves, but when the men came down from the hill, they themselves were attracted by their sons, and therefore the men embraced them. To embrace one's son and smell his head are symptoms of affection. So, Sanatana Goswami in Brihad Vaishnava Darshan says, they were elder in years but not withered with age, Prabhayasya, or they had remarkable age, being very young. They constantly remembered their sons after seizing the embraces. In the next verse 35, it is said that 35-39, these 5 verses describe Lord Balaram perceived the increase in affection. He was astonished, Lord Balaram. Bradasya Ramaha Premadher Bhiksha Utkantyam Anukshanam Mukta Stanesu Apatyesu Api Ahetu Vid Achintayat. Now Lord Balaram is thinking, Because of an increase of affection, the cows had constant attachment even to those calves that were grown up and had stopped sucking milk from their mothers. When Baladev saw this attachment, he was unable to understand the reason for it, and thus he began to consider as follows. The purport of Prabhupada says, the cows had younger calves who had started sucking milk from their mothers, and some of the cows had newly given birth, but now, because of love, the cows enthusiastically showed their affection for the older calves which had left for milking. And these calves were grown up, but still the mothers wanted to feed them. Therefore, Balaram was a little surprised, and he wanted to inquire from Krishna about the reason for their behavior. The mothers were actually more anxious to feed the older calves, although the new calves were present, because the older calves were expansions of Krishna. And these surprising events were taking place by the manipulation of the Yogamaya. There are two Mayas working under the direction of Krishna: Mahamaya, the energy of the material world, and Yogamaya, the energy of the spiritual world. These uncommon events were taking place because of the influence of Yogamaya. From the very day on which Brahma stole the calves and boys, Yogamaya acted in such a way that the residents of Vrindavan, including even Lord Balaram, couldn't understand how Yogamaya was working and causing such uncommon things to happen. But as Yogamaya gradually acted, Balaram in particular was not able to understand what was happening, and therefore he inquired from Krishna. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti says that Balaram was covered by 4 types of Maya. If possible, may discuss it. Sani, it was removed by the intention, by the will of Krishna. Otherwise, Balaram could not have known. So, in verse 36, it said, Kim he dat adhutam iva vasudeve akiladmani brajasya satmanas tokesu apurvam prema vardhate. What is this wonderful phenomenon? The affection of all the inhabitants of Braja, including me, toward these boys and calves, is increasing as never before, just like our affection for Lord Krishna, the super soul of all living entities. It was revealed by Balaram only. Otherwise, no one could understand it. The purport Srila Prabhupada Maharaj says, this increase of affection is not Maya, rather because Krishna had expanded himself as everything, and because the whole life of everyone in Vrindavan was meant for Krishna. The cows, boys, because of affection for Krishna, had more affection for the older calves than for the new calves, and the main increase in their affection for their sons. Balaram was astonished to see all the residents of Vrindavan so affectionate toward their own children, exactly as they had been for Krishna. Similarly, the cow had grown affectionate towards their calves as much as toward Krishna. Balaram was surprised to see the act of Yogamaya. Therefore, he inquired from Krishna, what is happening here? What is this mystery? So, Sanatana Goswami, Brihad Vaishnava Darshan says, this increased affection for the soul of everyone, Paramatma, the deity of the Chitta, the best of the Chaturbhuja, is beyond logic. However, as with him, now the affection for the small boys was increased. Such affection of cows for calves is acceptable, but it is not amazing to experience it among humans with various symptoms of prema. In this way, we'll see how these pastimes happen. So thank you very much for listening to the lecture, and please don't forget to subscribe, share, and like our channel and get the blessings of God. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.